Have you ever reflected on the true meaning of living? What lies beyond the illusions and expectations we create for ourselves? What if everything we consider important is nothing more than a curtain that hides the harshness and triviality of existence? These are questions that Emil Cioran, one of the most provocative and pessimistic philosophers of the 20th century, not only raised but deeply analyzed. Get ready to embark on a philosophical journey that challenges our fundamental conceptions of life, death, and human suffering. In this video, we will explore Cioran's ideas and their relevance to the modern world. Emil Cioran was born in 1911 in Romania and later acquired French citizenship. He passed away at the age of 84 on June 20, 1995, in Paris, a city where he spent much of his life and wrote the majority of his works. Cioran is widely recognized for his aphoristic style and extreme pessimism, using short and impactful sentences to convey his ideas. His writings are a relentless analysis of pain, despair, and the meaninglessness of human existence. From a young age, he carried a profound dissatisfaction with life and an intense sense of alienation. His childhood in Romania, marked by a complex relationship with his cultural heritage, greatly influenced his philosophical reflections. Influenced by German philosophy, especially the thoughts of Friedrich Nietzsche and Arthur Schopenhauer, Cioran developed an even darker view of life. While Nietzsche declared the death of God and Schopenhauer saw existence as a blind and irrational will, Cioran viewed human life as an unbearable burden, marked by incessant suffering. He not only rejected the notions of progress and redemption, but also questioned the very value of existence. For Cioran, the search for meaning was nothing more than an illusion that intensifies our existential anguish. In his view, philosophy was not a path to salvation, but a reflection of human misery. One of Cioran's central ideas is the concept of life as a form of exile. For him, to be born means being thrown into a world to which we never truly belong. This sense of displacement runs throughout his work, in which existence is portrayed as a directionless journey, marked by constant alienation. Cioran saw the world as a hostile and indifferent environment, where humans are eternal strangers within their own reality. This feeling of not belonging, for him, was the essence of human anguish. The only way to face this truth would be to accept our condition with resignation. In his view, life is nothing more than an infinite waiting for something that never materializes, an expectation doomed to frustration. In A Short History of Decay, one of his most emblematic works, Cioran reflects on the futility of all our achievements and aspirations in light of the certainty of death. For him, death does not represent a tragedy, but rather a liberation from the constant suffering that defines existence. The awareness of this inevitable end should lead us to question the value of our actions and ambitions, exposing the futility of our search for meaning. Instead of fearing it, Cioran saw death as a relief, the end of life's unrelenting torment. His work challenges the idealization of existence and proposes a reflection on the serenity that the end might bring. Cioran is also widely recognized for his critique of optimism and hope. In his writings, he argues that hope is nothing but an illusion that prevents us from seeing reality as it truly is. Rather than alleviating our suffering, hope prolongs it, as it keeps us bound to the expectation of a better future that never materializes. Far from being liberating, it traps us in an endless cycle of frustration. For Cioran, facing life authentically requires a complete renunciation of hope, accepting despair as an inescapable truth. In his view, optimism is nothing more than self-deception, a refusal to accept the harshness of human existence. For Cioran, true lucidity is only possible when one accepts the insignificance and futility of life. For him, this acceptance represents a form of freedom, though it is laden with bitterness. By recognizing the lack of purpose in existence, We can free ourselves from the illusions that imprison us and find a kind of peace within our own tragedy. However, this lucidity comes at a cost: the constant exposure to reality in its rawest form. For Cioran, seeing the world with total clarity means enduring a painful truth that dissolves all comforting illusions. He believed that few have the courage to face life with such brutal transparency. Cioran's pessimism is not limited to individual experience, but extends to humanity as a whole. For him, history is an endless succession of failures and disillusionments. Every advancement, whether technological or social, is merely a new manifestation of the same futility, serving only as a prelude to new forms of suffering. In his view, history follows an endless cycle of frustrated hopes and tragedies that repeat. Cioran saw civilization as a fragile structure, always on the brink of collapse, reflecting the recurrence of mistakes and disasters. For him, history is the definitive proof of humanity's inability to learn from the past. Despite his pessimistic view, Cioran's work is not devoid of humor. His sarcasm and irony serve as tools to highlight the absurdity of life and the vanity of our ambitions. He often ridicules human attempts to find meaning and purpose, suggesting that laughter can be an appropriate response to our tragic condition. His humor, though dark, provides brief relief from the weight of existence. Cioran saw an ironic form of consolation in the recognition of our own futility, and his black humor functioned as a way to face the absurd with a certain dignity. In his works, Cioran addresses failure as something intrinsic to the human experience. For him, failure is not an exception, but the norm. He believed that culture and civilization are based on a sequence of accumulated failures, and accepting this reality is crucial to understanding our nature more truthfully. For Cioran, failure reflects our difficulty in overcoming the fundamental limitations of the human condition. He saw failure as an expression of the essential truth about life. Cioran considered the perception of failure as a form of wisdom, a way of understanding the true essence of existence. Cioran's writing is deeply poetic and philosophical. His goal was not to offer answers or solutions, but to provoke a confrontation with the most uncomfortable truths of existence. His prose is dense, filled with aphorisms that stimulate profound reflections. Cioran uses short, impactful sentences to convey his ideas, often leading the reader into a state of melancholic contemplation. He employed language as a tool to carve sharp truths, stripping away illusions with almost surgical precision. His mastery of words made his ideas even more penetrating and impossible to ignore. Cioran's influence extends beyond philosophy, reaching literature, poetry, and the arts in general. His worldview resonates with artists and writers who explore themes such as despair, alienation, and the search for meaning in a chaotic world. Many find in his writings an unrelenting honesty that challenges the superficiality of contemporary forms of expression. Cioran inspired a new perspective on the human condition, impacting poets, filmmakers, and other creators. His work continues to be a source of inspiration for new generations, encouraging them to question established narratives and explore the depths of the human experience. Cioran believed that philosophy should be a personal and introspective practice, not just an academic field. For him, philosophizing was a way to confront one's own existence, a constant meditation on the harshest realities of life. He saw philosophy as a tool to explore the depths of the human soul and challenge the illusions that surround us. Cioran considered philosophical reflection as a solitary journey, an internal dialogue that requires courage and honesty. For him, true philosophy arose from personal experience and suffering. Cioran's work also addresses silence as a form of resistance and contemplation. For him, silence was a powerful response to the noise and superficiality of the modern world. Cioran believed that silence enables deep introspection, where we can confront our own truths without external distractions. He valued silence as a space where the mind can free itself from illusions and find genuine inner peace. In his reflections, silence becomes a form of meditation that connects us with the essence of being, a way to transcend the banality of existence. Cioran was an unwavering critic of ideologies and belief systems that offer definitive answers to human problems. He argued that these promises are illusory and often lead to more suffering and disillusionment. For Cioran, all ideologies represent forms of self-deception, which take us further from the fundamental truth about our condition. He saw the search for absolute solutions as a way of escaping reality. Instead of following closed systems of thought, he advocated for radical skepticism. For him, true freedom emerged from the rejection of all certainties. Despite his inclination toward nihilism and hopelessness, there is an aesthetic dimension in his work that cannot be ignored. Cioran was able to find moments of great beauty in melancholy and suffering. These moments do not redeem life, but offer a glimpse of something deeper and more mysterious. The ability to see beauty in pain is one of the most distinctive features of his philosophy. For him, the aesthetics of suffering reveal a hidden depth within human experience, a form of transcendence through pain. Cioran saw beauty as a fragment of eternity within the ephemerality of life. Cioran also reflected on religion, particularly Christianity. Although he was deeply skeptical of the promises of salvation and redemption, he acknowledged the psychological and emotional power of faith. For him, religion was a human response to existential despair, a way to find solace in a meaningless world. However, he saw this response as illusory and incapable of confronting the reality of life. Cioran argued that religion offers an escape from anguish, but not a genuine solution. He saw faith as an expression of the human desire to transcend one's own finitude. Cioran's impact on contemporary philosophy is remarkable. He influenced thinkers across various fields, including philosophy, literature, and critical theory. His radical approach and rejection of traditional conventions challenged many to reconsider their beliefs and values. Cioran remains a controversial figure, admired by some and criticized by others, but undoubtedly plays an important role in modern thought. His legacy is an invitation to brutal honesty and intellectual courage. His influence continues, inspiring new ways of thinking and questioning the world. Cioran's work is an invitation to dialogue and reflection. His writings provoke intense reactions, both of agreement and disagreement. He challenges us to question everything we consider true and to face the harshest truths about life. In doing so, Cioran offers us a form of freedom, though paradoxical, the freedom to live without illusions. His philosophy is a call for self-criticism and constant reflection. Cioran reminds us that true wisdom comes from the willingness to doubt ourselves and the world around us. Emil Cioran's philosophy is a reflection on the human condition in all its complexity and contradiction. He reminds us that, no matter how dark life may be, there is still value in facing that darkness with honesty and courage. Cioran challenges us to live with full awareness of our fragility and to find beauty even in the most difficult moments. His work is an invitation to authenticity in a world full of illusions. He urges us to seek a form of dignity in accepting our tragic condition. Emil Cioran invites us to reflect on life in a profound and challenging way. His ideas, though dark, offer a more raw and direct understanding of the human existence, urging us to question and debate the true meaning of living. By confronting the most uncomfortable truths, we can find a form of freedom, even if it comes with a bitter acceptance of reality. Cioran's philosophy is a journey into the darkness, where we find the light of truth. May we, inspired by him, embrace the complexity of life with courage and clarity. Thank you for watching, and until next time.